Okay. So in this video we're going to be talking about quantum now. I always like to draw quantum as green if you've seen my other videos on quantum mechanics. So this is going to be a simple explanation of how quantum mechanics works. So basically it's like this. You have the past, right? We'll draw that. That's a big blob of the past, right? And this is the future. And in classical physics, the past can only be one thing. So it can only be one thing. If you have two doors beside each other, you can have only gone through one of those doors. And the future is the two doors. So the future is your options. There's option 1 and there's option 2. You can only have gone through the two doors, or jumped left or jumped right or jumped middle. Those sort of things. That's the way classical mechanics works. But quantum physics says this. This is what quantum physics says. And it happens on a smaller scale, but you can scale it up accordingly. That's what the whole Schrodinger's cat experiment is that this very simple explanation is that here's the past, here's the future, right? The future makes the past, but you come to these two doors, right? But you can go through both of them. So you in the future you've come through the two doors, and then you've got, instead of going through just the left one and that becomes the past, you go through both doors, and that's what a superposition is. A superposition is you've done two things that contradict each other. Basically, you've gone through the left-hand door and the right-hand door at the same time, and then that has happened in the past. Now the past can change, but according to quantum physics, that's what a superposition is that you've basically done two simultaneous things that overlap each other. And that's exactly what quantum physics is that's what a superposition is. So say you, on the other side of those two doors, entanglement, what entanglement is, I'll just get another piece of cloth. So what entanglement is you have you're in your past, right? And on the other side, say here's the corridor that leads to those two doors, right? So you have that door and that door there, and you've gone through both of them. What comes out of those two doors is an entangled form of you. So two of you come out of those two doors. So there's you, and there's also you. And both of you come out of those doors, and that's an entangled version of you. So that's what quantum physics does. It kind of splits things that only have one option. So instead of having a superposition, is basically the past being instead of the past being a single thing, the past can be two or more. The past can be two or more things, and that's exactly what quantum physics is that the future makes the past, and you can be two or more things. So that's basically quantum physics and simply explained. That's where all the probabilities come from, is that, like, if you have 30 possible things, and wave function collapses when two things become one, so they collapse into one state. So things like that are just so wave function would be, you'd have those two things, and they'd collapse into one in the past. So they'd come up to you in a superposition, and then they would collapse back into a single position. So they're collapse back into a single version of you. So that's what superposition is. Just wipe it out twice to make it nice. So that's basically what superposition and collapsing the wave function means, is that those multiples of you get collapsed into singles, or entanglement. The other thing is entanglement is when you have two things and you kind of join them together via that sort of it's another version of it. I think I could be wrong about this, but you join them together, so they're what happens to this one, this part, what happens to this also happens to this, wherever you put that. So it kind of copies each other. So that's the basis of what's it called? That's the basics of quantum physics. That's kind of, if you understand that, you can understand the majority of physics. Unfortunately, they use kind of very heavy. You have to do a lot of pre-learning. It's what I call pre-learning before you can learn the maths of it. The maths is basically it's actually not that complicated. It's linear algebra is the big one you're gonna learn from, but linear algebra isn't complicated if you get a book on it. You learn it from a college course, it's quite complicated, but if you get a decent book on it, it's 10 times easier. So yeah, so that's my simplification of quantum mechanics. Thanks for watching the video, and I hope you live a happy life.